He didn't lose his sight on the road. He was already blind before it. Saul of Tarsus wasn't searching for truth. He was enforcing it. Religious authority, clear mission, defined enemy. From his perspective, nothing was unclear, which is usually where the problem starts. He wasn't confused. He wasn't hesitating. He wasn't asking questions. He was certain. And when certainty reaches that level, it stops checking itself. It's what happens when you're so sure. You stop checking. So he didn't. Confidence maximum. Doubt non-existent. From the outside it looked strong, focused, efficient, controlled. From the inside, it was closed. Because the problem wasn't ignorance. It was certainty without revision. He didn't need more information. He needed friction. But nothing around him created that. Everything confirmed the same thing. You're right. No resistance, no contradiction, no delay. And without resistance, certainty doesn't pause. It accelerates. Faster decisions. Stronger reactions, less reflection. And this is where the story gets uncomfortable, because Saul wasn't acting randomly. He had structure, he had authority, he had support, a system designed to reinforce him, which meant every step forward felt justified, every action validated, every decision confirmed. And when everything confirms you, you don't slow down, you escalate. The darkness didn't start on the road, it started in his mind, long before the journey, long before the fall. Long before anything visible changed, it was already there, quiet, stable, invisible, which is exactly why it worked. Because when you can't see the flaw, you don't experience it as a flaw, you experience it as clarity, and clarity is dangerous when it isn't tested. So Saul kept moving, forward, fast, certain. No pause, no doubt, no adjustment, everything aligned, everything made sense, everything confirmed his direction, until something appears, something outside his control, something stronger than his certainty. And then the light shows up, too strong to negotiate with. This wasn't guidance, this was interruption. Saul wasn't slowing down, he was stopped, mid-mission, mid-direction, mid-certainty. One moment, moving forward, next moment, on the ground. No warning, no transition, no adjustment, just impact, a light, not distant, not symbolic, immediate, bright enough to override everything. A voice, clear, direct, final, not a suggestion, not a message to consider, a stop. He wasn't corrected, he was stopped. Plan, active, system, offline. Everything he was operating on, direction, certainty, momentum, interrupted in seconds, not reduced, removed. Because sometimes reality doesn't adjust you, it interrupts you, completely. No slow realization, no gradual shift, just rupture. The kind that doesn't wait for permission. The kind that doesn't ask if you're ready. The kind that removes control first, and then forces awareness. Because Saul didn't decide to stop, he was stopped. And that matters, because stopping yourself feels controlled. Being stopped doesn't. One keeps your identity intact, the other breaks it. And this wasn't a pause, it was a shutdown. No movement forward, no continuation, no ability to resume. Everything paused at once. Because some truths don't teach. They interrupt, they don't explain, they override, they don't guide, they shut everything down. No negotiation, no argument, no delay. Just interruption, and interruption creates something new. Exposure. No more momentum to hide behind, no more certainty to operate from, just stillness, just silence, just reality, without filters. Because when everything stops, you can't pretend it's still working. And when Saul tries to continue, something is missing. Not partially, completely. The system he trusted no longer responds. And once that happens, everything changes. He only started seeing after he lost his sight. Saul didn't recover. He stayed blind. 3 days. No vision, no direction, no control. The man who led now had to be led. The man who moved now had to stop. Control removed. Certainty unstable. Vision off. Awareness on. No movement, no distraction, no momentum, just stillness, And stillness exposes things, because when everything stops, what's real doesn't move, and what's false doesn't hold. He could see everything, except what mattered. Now, he couldn't see anything. And that changed everything. This wasn't punishment, it was correction, not symbolic, functional, because removing vision removed the filter. No more reacting, no more enforcing, no more certainty to rely on. Just confrontation. And confrontation doesn't wait. It forces clarity. Fast. Because once illusion is gone, there's nothing left to maintain. No version to defend, no system to protect, no certainty to operate from. Just reality. Unfiltered, uncomfortable, unavoidable. Losing control wasn't the problem. It was the beginning. Because control was the thing keeping him from seeing. Now it was gone, and something replaced it. Awareness. Not slowly, not comfortably, inevitably. Because once you notice what you ignored, you can't go back. Not fully, not honestly. Something shifts. Permanently. The old version doesn't fit anymore. The old certainty doesn't hold anymore. The old direction doesn't make sense anymore. Everything still exists, but none of it works the same way. And that's the difference, because seeing isn't just about vision, it's about recognition. And once recognition happens, you can't undo it. But recognition isn't acceptance. Not yet. And that's where the real tension starts. Because now Saul knows something changed, but he hasn't fully become something new. And that gap doesn't stay quiet. He knew exactly who he was, until he didn't. Saul didn't adjust. He broke. Same body, different identity. The certainty was gone, not reduced, removed. The man who had answers now had none. The man who led was now followed. The man who enforced now stopped. Identity, unstable. Direction, unclear. He wasn't slightly wrong. He was wrong at the core. He wasn't fixing the problem. He was the problem, expert in everything. Wrong about the only thing that mattered. No transition, no smooth shift, no gradual change, just collapse. Everything he trusted no longer worked. Everything he believed no longer held. Everything that defined him no longer fit. Because when the foundation breaks, you don't adjust, you rebuild. And rebuilding doesn't look like progress. It looks like loss. Loss of certainty, loss of identity, loss of control, no title, no role, no position, just change. Unstable, unclear, unfinished. No version of before to return to. No stable version of after to rely on. Just transition. And transition doesn't feel like movement. It feels like failure. Because nothing fits, nothing works, nothing holds, and there's no speed here. No momentum to rely on. No certainty to carry you. Just reconstruction. Slow, uncomfortable, necessary. Because this wasn't a change of opinion. This was replacement. Complete, total, irreversible. Because some changes don't adjust your life. They replace it. And replacement removes everything familiar, everything stable, everything that made sense. And leaves you with something else, nothing solid. No identity to defend, no certainty to operate from. No version of yourself to trust. Just rebuilding. From zero. And rebuilding doesn't feel like growth. It feels like loss. Because nothing confirms you anymore. Nothing supports you anymore. Nothing protects you anymore. And what comes next doesn't feel like winning. Paul didn't change because he understood. He changed because he couldn't ignore it anymore. This wasn't clarity. It was pressure. Built over interruption, built over silence, built over everything that stopped working. Blind certainty, violent interruption, real blindness, identity collapse. Now, direction. But not the way people expect. Because change doesn't start when things make sense. It starts when they stop working. And for Saul, everything stopped working. His certainty failed, his system failed, his identity failed, not partially, completely. And when everything collapses, you don't move forward because you understand, you move because you have no alternative. Original plan, cancelled. New version, not approved. No confidence, no control, no guarantee, just movement. Forward, without certainty. Which is something Saul never did before. because before this he moved with answers. Now he moves without them. And that changes everything, because the problem was never lack of information. It was resistance to truth. And resistance only works until reality interrupts it. After that, it's over. Because once something becomes impossible to ignore, you don't go back, you adjust. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it doesn't feel right, even if it costs everything. Because the alternative is pretending nothing changed, and that no longer works. Paul didn't become someone new because he figured everything out. He became someone new because the old version stopped working. And once that happens, there's no stable middle, no safe version of before, no return to certainty, just movement, uncertain, uncomfortable, irreversible. He lost his sight to finally see, and the light didn't guide him. It shut everything down until he had no choice but to see.